Hi people from around the world, and today we're going to start with a side question. Anyone know the background, which city it is? If you do, well, say your answer out now, and I will give the answer at the end of the video. Anyway, that really isn't the main point of the video. The main point of the video is much versus many. As a teacher, I often hear, how many money do you have? Oh, how much? Oh, is it how many? As a teacher, I often hear students struggling to decide whether it's much or many. So today we're going to look at what the root cause of the problem is, and more importantly, some practices that you can do to help you overcome this problem in deciding whether it's much or many. So let's get started. Much and many. Yes, it can be confusing, and a lot of people do get it wrong. But you're going to get much better at it during the next 10 minutes. Let's start with two groups of words, and there are two groups of nouns actually, and there's one difference between them, and it's the key to understanding much and many. So on the one side we've got coffee, grass, wood, air, rice, pork, and so on. On the other side we've got apple, table, car, ladder, bottle. So what's the difference between these two groups? Let's see. Okay, so the essential difference is that coffee, grass, wood, air, rice, pork, these are uncountable. You cannot put a number in front of it. And these go with much. So how much coffee? There isn't much grass outside. That's too much wood. And on the other side we've got countable nouns. And these you can put a number in front of them. So you can 1, 2, 3 them if you like. And they have two forms. So you've got the singular form, so here we've got an apple. It could be the apple, but if it's unknown, an apple, a table, a car. And we've got the plural form, so more than two or more. And we've got 2 apples, 5 tables, 20 cars. And the countables go with many, so how many apples? So many tables. I don't have many cars. We got a first test here. So are these nouns countable or are they uncountable? I'll give you a second to think about it. You can pause the video if you want. They are, of course, countable. And how about these nouns? Are they countable or uncountable? What's your answer? Okay, this is the answer. They're uncountable. Okay, so you might want to pause the video, but the basic one is like which ones are correct. So some of these sentences are correct and some of them are incorrect. So let's look at the answers. Okay, I have 3 dogs. Good. They have given me 4 advices. Okay, in some language, advice, you can count it, not in English. You can have a piece of advice, but you can't have 4 advices. I bought 2 beef. Again, you can have a piece of beef, a chunk of beef. And she has 5 times. Okay, and in this case you can't count time. Right, so countable nouns, they go with many. And here are like some common forms of many. So there are many people on the street today. Here you could also say there are a lot of people on the street today, or there are many people on the street today. Both are fine. In the question we can use many, so how many apples did you buy? She doesn't have many tomatoes. It's the same meaning as she only has a few tomatoes. Many of the people at the party were drunk. A lot of the people at the party were drunk. There aren't many elephants in the UK. That's too many bananas, so many tasks to do. Okay, another test for you lots. So choose the correct noun. So look at the sentences. They got many in, so you need to choose the noun that goes with many. And here are the answers. I will read them out for you. So there are many cows in the market. How many chairs did you buy? She doesn't have many friends. Many of the animals at the show were small. There aren't many olive trees in the UK. That's too many apples. So many sweets to eat. Or so many candies to eat. Uncountable nouns go with much. So there isn't much snow on the street today. How much coffee did you buy? She doesn't have much time. Much of the drink at the party was wine. There isn't much gold in the UK. That's too much beer. So much work to do. Again, another test. So choose the correct noun. Which ones go with much? So all the sentences have much in them, and you need to choose which noun goes with much. So you can pause the video. I'm going to carry on. Okay, and I will read the answers out. So there isn't much water left. How much milk did you buy? She doesn't have much money. Much of the food at the party was eaten. There isn't much cheese in the fridge. That's too much wine. So much information to read. And again, information, like advice, in some languages is countable, in English it's not. Okay, so learning with chunks. Let's look at many first. How many plus countable nouns? So how many apples? How many oranges? How many men? And the next one is very similar. So how many women are there? How many pilots are there? How many trees are there? This one, she doesn't have many, so it means it's a low number. So she doesn't have many books. She doesn't have many rooms in her house. Too many. So you can have like too many apples, too many people, so many, like too many, so many choices, so many people, many of the are. So many of the apples are rotten. Many of the cars on the street are blue. And so many. And in this case, to eat, so many apples to eat. And here are some chunks for much. So how much plus uncountable now? So how much coffee? How much paint? How much wood? How much uncountable noun is there? So how much coffee is there? How much tea is there? She doesn't have much, so it's a low quantity or something. So she doesn't have much tea. She doesn't have much meat. Too much beef. Too much chicken, if it's the meat. Too much chicken. So much food. Much of the is. So much of the flour is out of date. So much to eat. Okay, so much beef to eat, and so on. So there's a few examples. Verbs plus much. So much can also work with verbs. So he doesn't dance much. So he only dances a little. She doesn't eat apples much. So much here is not about apples, it's about eat. They don't like movies much. Alright, so here are some chunks that you can use to practice this. So I don't much. I don't drive much. I don't read much. I don't write much. So some very simple examples. I don't plus type 1 action much. So you can have an action. So for example, like play football. I don't play football much. I don't eat sugar much. She doesn't like And you can have a type 4 action here, much. A type 4 action is one with ing, so she doesn't like playing football much. She doesn't like playing volleyball much. She doesn't like watching movies much. Okay, that's much and many. So with some dedicated practice, you can get much better at much and many. And those chunks, using those chunks, making your own sentences, is a step towards improving your English. Do the exercise, it will become much easier for you to get it correct. So much and many, it doesn't have to be confusing. Just a little bit of practice and you'll get much better at it. So do the hard work and be an excellent English speaker. Okay, until the next video. I'm back. I did forget the answer you're so dying to look forward to. Which city is the background? It's not Paris, it's Tokyo.